Hello, mindfulness people out there. I'm Christian from the Mindfulness Project, and my question is, are you also a person who goes through the roof really easy, that even small things can make you so angry, that your partner can just beep, trigger you a tiny little bit, and just your mood is done for a long, long time? Then this is exactly your video. It is for you. Enjoy. Okay, I'm a real anger specialist. I have to confess, anger is, my main to go to emotion, which is, just whenever something is happening, anger's just coming out. So for most of my life, I was just really struggling with anger. I have to confess, nearly destroyed my relationship with my beautiful wife. It just always gets in between me and other people, and it destroyed already friendships. And so I really, really had to deal with this problem on a very, very deep level. And I would like to take you on my healing journey and explain a little bit what I did to handle anger in a much, much better way. So first I came to meditation. And when you start meditating, when you start practicing mindfulness, what happens a lot of times is that you become much more mindful of your shit. I actually recognize how often I got angry, and I recognized how often this anger was totally silly, and how many times I was just doing things out of anger which I regret afterwards so tremendously. And so actually, meditation seemed to make things worse in the beginning, because I was just more aware of, all my dark sides, and I was like, why do I do this? And so then I came across the Buddhist teachings, and the Buddha was always saying anger is like trying to throw hot coals on somebody. You get burned first. And in the Buddhist teachings, it's always said that anger is part of the three poisons of our mind. So it's a poison. It's just so destructive. And so I was trying to just fight anger, basically. And there are two main strategies people can have. One strategy usually with anger is you leash out. And a lot of people even make that into something great, and saying, yeah, you need to get rid of your anger, you need to let it out. So that is one very destructive way to deal with it. And the other way is to swallow it up, to press it under the surface. And if you do that, what it leads to depression. Depression is, from a psychological point of view, suppressed anger. So two of these things really don't work. It's like anger is like a little child. You don't want the little child to run your car, but you also don't want to stuff it into the trunk. Yeah. So it's a little bit like this. So what is a more wise way to deal with anger? And what I found out is that after meditating for a long time, I realized the Buddha was not saying, anger is bad. This duality does not exist in Buddhist terms, good and bad, right and wrong. Like an emotion is just an emotion, nothing else. And the idea is to not suppress it, to not want it to go away at all, but to watch it and to see it for what it is. It is an emotion. And what I found out on my journey is actually that anger is a very intelligent emotion. It's a very, very necessary thing to just make you understand that something is not really going right in your life. If somebody is stepping over your boundaries, anger comes up. If there's social injustice in the world, anger comes up. If there's inequality, anger comes up. So we just need this emotion. That's our necessary fuel for change. If we wouldn't have anger, we would not start to change something in our life. So I understood that my bias against anger was actually the problem. And I started to really look at anger and let it be. So what we do in the Mindfulness Project is always remember, it's everything what we do in the Mindfulness Project is about love and it's about freedom. And we just really want to investigate what is in between me and my original nature, which is, completely balanced and in peace and in love with myself and others. And anger is one of the most strongest things. So what do? First thing is, always part one is recognize that there is anger, and people are very good in hiding it, becoming passive aggressive, becoming becoming people pleaser, but inside there's boiling, and sometimes they don't even recognize this tension and these feelings at all. And so recognizing that it is there and just really taking full responsibility to it. The second thing is allow it to be there. Just sit and start to feel it. Where in your body do you feel it? What is going on in your body at the time? What kind of stories do you tell yourself about it? So, and the next thing is then investigation. So to just really trying to understand anger. And for me, it was really interesting. So even small things like I was driving, you're driving is a lot, just the best circumstances to experience anger. And somebody, you're in a hurry and somebody in front of you just really takes it easy and you cannot pass by. And I start boiling, So in this moment, I start to really feel it, what's really going on inside of me, where do I feel it? And then I try to go deeper, why does this little thing, just have such a tremendous effect on me that it's really burning me like coals in my hand? And I found out over the years that my childhood was so insecure, there was so much lack of, attention, security, and a real base, so that I feel very quickly hurt. I feel very quickly, in threat and danger. So anger is part of our brain stem, this fight, flight, or freeze reaction. So very quickly, because of my upbringing, I come into that. So if I see that I have a great need for control, I have a great need for, trying to get in control of what is going on around me. And I figured out that anger is one of the most powerful tools to give me a false sense of control. So if I scream at my wife or I scream at somebody else, people just start doing what I want. They get scared of me, and subjectively it feels, in the moment it feels good. You also get a cortisol rush in your body, and that can become, on a hormonal level, it can become really addictive. So, anger is addictive, control is addictive. And if you really want to overcome anger, you need to see, why do I have this need for control? Where does the fear come from? Where does the trigger come from? And if you find out, if you go back to your childhood, if you feel the moments where you have been threatened a lot, where you felt, insecure, where you have been, made fun of, or, all these kind of things which lead to that, and then the natural outcome is self-compassion. So if I feel anger, I just make my way towards my hurt, and then I make my way towards self-compassion, and I'm holding myself. And this month, I want to give you a couple of techniques how to do that, how to just go deep into the phase of self-compassion, of self-love and stuff like this. So, and then if this whole process is really done and I'm in a place where I'm connected with myself, connected with my story, connected with my fears, then I can start to transform it. And the transformation is then coming in the way that you see, okay, now with being connected with my heart, I can have a clear look what is actually not going right in my life. Where are people just crossing my boundaries, and where do I need to set clear, healthy boundaries? Where in the world is injustice? And we can see that we can find wise ways to react to it. It's just, anger is great to make us feel, wait a second, there's something just not quite right, and you get the energy to do it. And in our times, it's so important. You look at our world and you see everywhere there's killing going on, there are wars going on, there is suppression, there is abuse, there's sexual abuse, there's the inequality between man and woman. We need anger. We need to use this fuel to make a transformation, but the transformation can only come from the heart. The transformation can only come from understanding and from the deep peace in mind. So we all need to go into the process. We have a responsibility, because if I want to have peace on the outside, I need to make peace on the inside first. I need to do the work. So I hope that we all go on the journey together this month and trying to transform our anger, that we just go and just really look deeply, where does it come from, where's the root, and having wise tools and powerful tools to overcome anger and make that into the fuel of transformation, because so many people are now in these times kind of like overwhelmed with what is happening, afraid of the future and stuff like this, and we can just make that into, come on, let's do something, let's become the creators of our life, and anger is a great tool for it. It's not bad. Okay, thank you so much, guys. If you want to hear more of this, go to our YouTube channel, join us on Facebook, and just become part of this incredible family. I love you guys.